In this story, we're going to go way back. I know that Peyton was 3 years old at this time. And so put Lakin at about 11 or 12. Heath was at 10. Baylor was about 8 years old. And we just got done at the beach in San Diego. And about 4:30 in the afternoon, we get everything loaded up. And you know that if you've taken like young boys, you're just tired. We get in the car, and Holly's like, I don't want to go back and cook anything for dinner. So let's just go out to eat, right? And so the kids are like, yay! Right? So we're like, all right, where do we want to go? And I don't know who said it. I believe that it was God, but I don't know. I just heard a voice that said the Olive Garden. And all of the Andersons cheered greatly when the Olive Garden was mentioned. And we looked at Holly. We said, right? And she goes, let's go to the Olive Garden. And then there was great cheering and song within the Anderson car as we were going, and they chanted, Olive Garden, Olive Garden. And we were excited. Put it in the GPS, it's 10 minutes away. We drove up to the Olive Garden. As we pulled into the parking lot, we did something that we teach in our parenting class, which is like one of the most priceless tools as a parent. It's preloading their brains with the expectation of behavior, right? They forget, right? So you put it in when you show up, and usually most of the time then they follow it. So we ask them, because you want them to answer questions. All right, guys, going to the Olive Garden, how do we act? And right away, the kids begin to go, all right, we can't be loud, we got to be quiet, put the napkin in the lap, no running around, no fighting, no hitting one another, right? We're just going through the list the kids are. And then all of a sudden, Lakin goes, and no, and he just rips one, right? Peyton's 3 years old. I believe this was the funniest moment in his entire life. He fell out of the seat on the floor. He was laughing so hard. Thought this was the greatest piece of comedy ever done. Like the whole car erupted. We're all laughing, right? Right? And I look over and Holly was laughing. And then she's like, you could tell she's like, all right, come on. So now it's my job. I'm like, hey guys, okay, hold on. Okay, calm down, boys. Okay, I know we're being funny, but seriously, guys. Very important that we as the Andersons, when we go in there is no, and then I went, and I let one go too, right? And so now, we thought we were going to lose Peyton because he could not breathe. He was laughing so hard. He was laughing. So we finally, right, we get out of the giggle fit, the laugh fit, and we get out of the vehicle ready to go in. But then, like, Holly looked at us all, and she went, no. We forgot. Like, we were in, like, swim trunks and tank tops, right? Sand all over the place. She goes, we can't go into the Olive Garden like this. And she calls us the Anderbillies when we look like rednecks. She goes, the Anderbillies can't go into the Olive Garden. And the kids are like, Mom, please. And I'm like, honey, nobody is going to see us. Like, we're in San Diego, right? You know what I'm saying? What's the big deal? We'll never see these people again. And the kid's like, please. And she's like, fine, Anderbillies, we're going to go in. She's like, but we're going to act, right? We got to act different than Anderbillies. And the kid's like, yay, right? And so as we walk in, and I know the Olive Garden already has kind of a nice, people dress fairly nice, but this was a night where you go, okay, people, this is, I don't know if they're having a business meeting, like people are in like blazers and dockers and dresses, and here comes the Anderbillies in there, right? We come walking in, right, all redneck, like, hey, folks, Andersons are here today. Hey, children, if you get learned up real well, you can wear one of those one of these days. We're going to get some victuals in us. We're schooled and educated, the Andersons are, right? And so I'm kind of looking around, I'm like, oh no, right? And so the waitress comes out, she's like, and I'm like, yeah, table for 6. She's like, okay, right? And so they take us all in our swim trunks and everything, put us at a table. I'm like, guys, okay, come on. So we're all quiet, we're sitting around the table, right? And the waiter comes over, he's like, hey, can I get your drink order? And right, we're water. And Baylor's one of the funniest people in the world. He's just funny, 8 years old, right? He goes, may I see your wine menu, right? No, it was perfect timing. It was hilarious, right? Especially since, like, we don't let our kids drink till they're 10, so that's made it even funnier, right? We're like, oh my gosh. Peyton doesn't even know what he's laughing about. He's just having a giggle fit about the wine menu. And so then we get back, and now I can tell Holly's like, she's looking at me, I'm like, God, Mom's going to pull the ripcord on this, and we're going to have to leave the Olive Garden if we don't stop with all the right. And so we're like, all right. So we want breadsticks, right? We want the breadsticks coming out, right? So then he comes over to take our order. Peyton's sitting right next to me, right? And so he's going around the table, and all of a sudden I hear next to me, it sounds like somebody's rubbing 2 sticks trying to start a fire over here, right? And so I look over him, and I don't to this day, my mind, he had the seat like this, and he was moving his bottom like a cheese grater on the seat as fast. He's just moving that thing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we all look at him and like, what are you doing? And he goes, I got an itch. I'm like, in your spleen? What are you doing, son? Like, I gotta buy the chair now. You ruined the chair, son. I'm like, stop, right? He stops, and the order, and we're like, and once again, I'm like, guys, we can't do whatever that is ever. I don't know what we're doing. Please, right? Don't itch that way, right? So, calm down. We get our food, and we eat. And the Andersons love the breadsticks. Anybody else, like, we must have ate 40. Like, we tore up the breadsticks. Like, they had to call a crew in. Like, we're getting the breadsticks, and we get done. We're sitting there. They bring the bill over, and Peyton's sitting right next to me. He's sitting kind of Indian style in the chair. And the guy goes, anything else for y'all, before you go? And he goes, breadsticks. And Peyton goes, I want a breadstick. I said, say please. He goes, please, I don't want a breadstick. He goes, oh, wait, no, never mind, I have one. And we looked at him. I didn't see no breadsticks anywhere. He reaches in his swim trunks, and he pulls a breadstick out of the leg, and he goes, and he takes a bite of it. Everybody goes, oh, my gosh! Thus, the last time the Andersons have ever been at the Olive Garden. The Anderbillies are no longer allowed. I mean, people know there were habits and patterns that we had to change within the Anderbillies to go forward. The same thing in your life.